It might not seem like a big deal. Right now, it might not seem like a big deal, but sometimes the cost of living does matter. The cost of living does matter. People might not make it seem like a big deal, but it is. Things are not working out because prices is going up, inflation, tariffs, taxes, cost of living go up. It's a big deal. But a lot of people don't want to make it a big deal because of other stuff that's going on. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AZD here with you. And in this video, I want to talk about the cost of living and how the prices of things are going up right now. And it's serious because, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you was looking at achieving the American dream, going out, working hard, working a 9 to 5, working a regular job, saving some money in order to, do a big purchase. Maybe you're going to purchase a house, a car, a boat or something like that, right? That's part of the American dream. But with the cost of living right now is going up like crazy, these dreams seems like it's going to be far-fetched because of the cost of living. You see egg prices going up. You see prices on electronics going up. You see prices on oil going up. So it's no doubt that the cost of living is changing in America, and the American dream just seems like it's far away because of these prices going up. And these prices keep going up. Like I was saying on a live the other day, I went into a Chinese restaurant, to get an order chicken wings. Order chicken wings is 4 wings. Matter of fact, come to think of it, was back in the days, wasn't it like 5 wings? But anyways, that's cost of living, that's the inflation, that's the change of life and the change of the economy, right? So I went up into the Chinese restaurant, order wings, 4-piece order of wings, probably thought it was going to be coming up to like maybe $5, $6. Come to the register, $8 and change. So you telling me that right now for 1 wing is basically fried wing. Okay, it's fried wings, extra crispy, whatever. For fried wings, extra crispy, for 1 wing is basically $2 because it's ordered 4 of them. It came to $8 and change, like $8.13 or something like that, taxes or whatever. But other than taxes, is there tariffs on these chicken wings as well? What's going on with these inflation? So I did a little research to get more into the cost of living and how the cost of living is affecting us. And come to find out that 2 out of 3 people right now, and I'm not just the only one that's talking about this cost of living, or I'm not the only one that's worried about this cost of living or worried about living check to check. You're not even living check to check no more. You're living paycheck to Monday type stuff, paycheck to Tuesday. So 2 out of 3 people right now in America is stressing about the money issues and worrying about making ends meet. In addition to that, 3 out of 4 are worried that their income is not keeping up with inflation. That's a lot of people. You have people who was out here working a regular job, having, you have your set budget, your set idea of how much you're going to spend on, miscellaneous things, how much you're going to spend on your bills, how much you're going to spend on entertainment, your just seems crazy. One of them big birds must have been like a vulture or something. So your cost of living is going up. So you got to worry about all those different bills. And when it comes to play now, you think you had everything on point, but with the tariffs, with the inflation, with taxes, with the changing of the economy and how the economy seems like it's in a crisis right now, you tend to see that you can't just be living off of one source of income, or you cannot make it off of one source of income. So you have people out here working good jobs. For example, like a teacher's salary. You would think that a teacher would have a decent salary. Looking at this video clip, this teacher she says she has a decent salary. It's not the best salary, Why they keep saying this about teacher salary, right? Over the last few years, like, it seems like teacher salaries are not like how it's supposed to be. Like, when I was in school, it was cool to, teachers making good money, they have their teacher's salary. They don't got to work in the summer. Then they get their pensions and all that stuff. Now it seems like being a teacher is a hard job. You got sport players getting paid better than teachers, and entertainment influencers getting paid better than teachers, but teachers are the ones that are showing the children the way of the future, right? Was that like a Whitney Houston verse or something like that? Shout out to Whitney Houston, R.I.P. But let's get back more into this details topic of what the cost of inflation, how the cost of inflation is changing up with the economy crisis. So let's get back into the scenario with the teacher. Teacher talks about, she has a decent salary. It's not the best salary, but she has a decent salary. But she's also a parent of, I believe she had 3 kids. So in order to be able to fetch the bills, take care of the bills, take care of her 3 kids, her family, in order to cover all the costs, because of the cost of living is changing, the cost of living is going up. The cost of living in the U.S. is keep on going up and prices going up. So in order for her to be able to float, or being able to take care of her kids and her family and stay afloat and be able to manage things, she had to go ahead and get a second job. So in addition to working her regular teacher job, and I think she said she probably was like making about 40K or so like that, which nowadays doesn't seem that much anymore, because once you pay your bills, once you pay your mortgage, rent, whatever, your car insurance, utility bills, all of that extra money basically is not there anymore because of the inflation. So you're paying more on your interest rate, you're paying more on your taxes, you're paying more on oil, eggs, chicken. So now is the time that they're saying that you can't just live off of one stream of income. You have to have multiple income in order to survive in this economy. Some people was talking about how they have a regular job, a regular 9-to-5 job, or whatever. You don't even have to be a 9-to-5, but you have a regular job that's working 8 hours, right? Then on top of that, they had to get a part-time job in order to supplement their income and take care of their bills. In addition to that, now they were saying that sometimes the part-time job isn't even cutting it all the way, so then they had to get involved with the gig economy. No problem with the gig. I appreciate the gig economy. Gig economy helped me out a lot, especially when you find out times maybe your hours aren't there, or maybe you find out that you had to take off time and you didn't have any paid sick time or any paid time off or anything like that. You just tap into the gig economy, have a few apps, delivery apps, or whichever one, carrier apps, whichever kind, your DoorDash, your Uber Eats, if you want to do Roadie, if you want to do systematic, I forgot, I can't even say it, Simmons. It's basically a medical care. You delivering medical supplies to different retirement homes, hospitals, such as urgent care. But this person was saying that they have to also tap into, so they had a regular job, part-time job, in addition to they had to tap into the gig economy in order to get up enough money in order to survive in this economy. So you have to make every dollar count in this economy. You can't be thinking like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it back, or it's on sale, so maybe I should get an extra one. You have to think about every dollar and make every dollar count in this economy. So inflation grew about 2% in the past month. So that'd be the month of May, almost 2%. I mean, not before somebody come back and say, hey, it was 1.8% or something like that, whatever it was. Almost 2% inflation on the month of May. It's not bad compared to how it was around 2022 after the pandemic, but the inflation is still up there, still higher than what the Federal Reserve wanted to be. So inflation is still up there, and it's hitting up everybody. And like I said earlier, even people who are doing 6 figures is getting hit. A police officer in Waterbury, Connecticut, he was talking about how he's a young police officer, I believe in his late 20s or early 30s. He had a family of 3, wife and kid, and he was making 6 figures. So he's making over $100,000 a month. But he was also facing a problem because he couldn't afford to purchase any house. He couldn't afford, well, he could afford it, but it's difficult. The market is difficult. Maybe 3-4 years ago, he would be looking at a house that probably is about $240,000, where this year he said he have to look at houses that's in the $300,000 range. And ironically, he said basically it's saying like it's the same houses that he probably was looking at a few years later, but now the prices has increased on these houses. So the houses prices has going up. The housing market is crazy right now. It got this up and down. You don't even know how the housing market is going. Got a lot of foreclosures coming on to the market. So people can't afford their mortgage, so they go into pre-foreclosure, and after that to foreclosure. The banks grab them up, they send them out to auction. Crisis, economical crisis. We might be facing a recession if we have 2 years of weak GDP. If the GDP is in a negative, not 2 years, 2 quarters. Yeah, 2 quarters, so that's 6 months. 2 quarters of negative GDP, that will put us in a recession. So the Fed notes is saying that we might be facing a recession. It's not really sure what's going on, but what's for sure, if we have to keep an eye on this, we have to be aware of what's going on in the economy. We have to be aware how the cost of living is increasing, how the cost of living and prices are going up, how the cost of living is increasing like crazy in the US, and everything is going up. Keep going up and keep going up. Eggs keep going up, gas keep going up. So the prices are going up on these different items, and we have to keep eye on it, because if not, then we're probably going to see prices jump as high as 24%. And it has happened, because right now they're saying that a lot of the prices, if you go to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they doing the cost of living based on utilities, food, energy, a variety of things. So if you go check it out, you'll see that some part of it, 24% of the cost of living is almost up 24% higher than what it was pre-pandemic era. So back in like 2019 and stuff like that, stuff was way more cheaper before the pandemic. But after that, we seeing, inflation, we seeing all type of things going on. Supply chain, stuff with the supply chain and holding up on the supply chain. So we got about 24% higher than before the pandemic, and people are not making enough money to afford retirement. So you got people coming out of retirement. That's another thing how I talk about the job market is even hit, because you have people coming out of retirement because they're not getting enough money from Social Security or pensions or their retirement, 401k, whichever thing that they had set up is not enough. So people are coming out of retirement in order to work to make enough money to live, right? Not making enough money to afford the basic standards of living. That's another thing. Basic standard of living, your food, your utilities, just the basic things, your health costs, health insurance, all of those things, the price is going up, and people are not making enough money to afford these basic standard of living. So we're definitely seeing about 60% of the population is also faced with this problem. In addition to the economy is not at a growth right now. So it's higher prices is going to be coming up. Even though prices are high, we're going to see higher prices for the months to come, especially for the summer months. We almost halfway in June. June is halfway done. Now we have July and August left. So we're going to see prices going to go up. We will see prices go up in the forward months, in the months to come, because it's the summer months. You got people want to go out, have a good time. People want to be grilling. People want to go on vacations, take long trips, using gas, using fuel, all of that stuff, right? Not to mention when it gets hot, you want to turn on the AC. You want to have the AC on. So we got higher prices going to be coming up in the months due to tariffs, due to the cost of summer. The cost of summer, you want to barbecue, you want to have the grill out, you want to take trips, like I said, you want to go to the park, you want to go to the beach, you want to have a good time while the weather is nice, right? So we do see the prices of things go up during the summertime. Not to mention, it's going to be a low growth in the months coming up, because consumers are not spending as how they were before. Consumers are reducing their spending. Even the what they were saying, the traveling, people were flying more. Now they're reducing the flying and they're doing more trains and more driving, and it's a different reason because of that. Some of it is because of what's going on with the aviation and what's going on with these airplanes in the air, but a lot of it is also because of the cost of living is going up. So people cannot fly like how they were. People can't take vacation how they were. Now people are doing more staycation instead of traveling far apart, far away, and not able to cover the cost. And when you come back, you're stressing about, okay, you spend this amount of money and you basically went over budget. So we're going to see higher prices in the months ahead, and we're going to see low growth in the economy in the months ahead. And it's due to, the tariffs, the summer costs, And also the trading policies that's going on. We got trading policies that's going on between U.S. and China. So it's a lot of things that we have to be aware, especially the upcoming months. The next 6 months, we got to be on point. The next 6 months, we have to figure out extra way to increase our income. The next 6 months, we have to increase our assets. We have to increase our income. We have to be able to maybe even get up to $10,000 to $15,000 within the next couple months. And it's gonna be a sense of urgency. It's gonna be a sense of urgency. And you can tell this. Just watch the prices of things you're spending on. Watch the prices of how much you spend on coffee. Watch how much you're spending at your lunch break. Watch how much you're spending on takeout food. The other day I went to, another chicken spot. I don't even want to name it, but it starts with a P and it ends with a E. Yeah, I think so. So going to the Pop Chicken place, right? 3 pieces of chicken. Matter of fact, 2 pieces of chicken, a breast and a leg, a drink, and a small container of mac and cheese. All of that came up to almost $17. $17, and I'm like, it's inflation, it's cost of living, it's tariffs. I'm like, yo, is this tariffs going on these chicken? Like, a meal like that usually was like $12, $13. Now it's up probably like an extra $5. So those are some of the things that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be on point. We got to be aware. Prices are going up, so we have to be aware of the prices going up and be able to offset the prices by increasing our income, creating multiple sources of income, doing gig works if we have to do, budgeting ourselves, and focusing on what's going on in the economy. Don't worry about all those other crazy stuff that they trying to distract us with, right? The Diddy stuff and all type of stuff that we don't have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to what's going on in the economy. We have to pay attention to cost of living and the rising costs. The cost of living in the U.S. is going up. Prices are going up, so we have to pay attention to that. So once again, it's Ainsley D. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about cost of living. Let me know how you're counteracting the cost of living. Let me know how you're supplementing your income, and let me know some of the challenges that you're facing with this cost of living. Once again, it's Ainsley D. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Be safe, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.